Welcome to the Journey of Oneness. Hi, everyone. I'm your spiritual companion, Carmen Love. Today on Joe Flow, we have a special guest. He goes by the name Old John or John. Um, he is a spiritual healer, extremely in tune, very enlightened individual, and I took an interest in him and his capabilities. He is a good friend of Roger. For those of you all who know, I do a co-hosting gig with Roger on Live with Roger 24/7, and that's how we met. And we're going to just discuss his journey. And so, hi, John.
Hello.
How are you today?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. Very good.
That's
Yourself?
great. Well, thank you so much for
Good,
asking. I really
good.
appreciate that. First of all, I would like to thank you for coming. Thank you so much for agreeing to do an interview with me. Your story is extremely inspiring. So I guess I would like to first start with what was your first spiritual encounter? Like, how did you know that you were different and you were able to see things differently than, let's just say, most people do?
Well, first one. Well, yeah, I probably started. I joined a religious group. Before then, I used to be like petrified of dying. I used to lie in bed every night thinking about dying, be petrified of it. So I had no spiritual, I think, awareness at all back then. But when I joined this group, there was something in this group which has caused me. I had this joyful feeling. It opened something up inside me, my soul or whatever. It did something to me in a good way. And after that, all sorts of stuff were happening. I was seeing things, um, uh, seeing stuff for the future, and it just sort of
So
went
you're
from there.
able to see things. Excuse me, I apologize. It's just you said you're able to see things in the future, future
Yeah,
events.
sometimes, yeah, not very often, but I can, yeah. What
Eh,
happened when I was in this religion? I got really into it, really deep. I withdrew into myself. I didn't used to speak to people and nothing. I really withdrew into myself. I used to hallucinate, see like devils and angels and stuff around the place. I was hallucinating, and as I was coming out of it, I started like seeing stuff for the future. Like I saw VR systems, like gaming systems, games consoles, all that, and what was behind it. Well, I suppose you could say dark forces behind it in a sense, and stuff like that. And after that, for about the next 5 years, I just sort of was drinking alcohol or whatever, just get myself ground balanced, I think. And I'm not sure the exact date. Um, I had a dog, and I think the early 1990s, and he had cataracts. I never said this publicly on camera before, but I'm getting braver. Something just told me my hand over his head like that, and I just nothing like felt nothing happened. Then the next couple of days, I noticed I couldn't like focus properly on one of my eyes. It was there was nothing physically to look at, but it was like there was something in my eye, like I couldn't see properly out one of my eyes. And I
mm,
looked at my dog, and I realised the cataracts had gone. I'd actually healed him, and
wow.
I didn't even know. And what had happened, it had come on to me because I obviously had no protection. I didn't even know I was going to help him. I just tried, and it really freaked me out. And I just, oh my god! And I didn't do anything for like 20 years, healing again. 20 years
Mm,
until my son. I was doing it in little ways, but not really consciously allowing myself to admit I was doing it. Like I was looking after my son, and I would never use nappy cream or anything on him because he was a baby because I didn't need to. Somehow I was just helping. Yeah, my partner would then be home for a few days and she'd be changing his bum and the rash is you get a nappy rash then and she'd put cream in him like you do and stuff like that. I never had to. I just somehow used to even need it when I was with him like regular. But he got to a stage where he had very bad acid reflux. He couldn't keep his milk down. So we were told about a local healer. He sort of became a bit of a mentor to me. And I went there to see him, and he said, "Who's the healer in the room?" He said, "There's a healer in the room." And I just looked at my partner. I thought, "Oh, I'm not saying anything." And he said, and I said, "Well, I have done a little bit in the past." He said, "Yes, I knew it." He said, "You could have done this." I said, "But I wasn't allowed to help him." I said, "Maybe." He said, "But there we are." Within half an hour, my son was smiling at him. The reflux went. He never had it again. As a baby, never. He's a brilliant healer. He is a brilliant healer, I should say. And he's helped me as well. And so again, I never did nothing. And then one day, my partner came home from work. She's the sort of person that works too hard. She overdoes it. She takes on too much. She drives herself into the ground. That's the way she is. She came home. She had a temperature of 39 degrees. I'm not sure if that's centigrade or Fahrenheit, but it's a bit different from the UK than in America, I think. Anyway, it's 39. And something compelled me to. And her throat was like seizing up. She couldn't swallow properly. Something compelled me to hug her, or cwtch, as we say in Welsh. In it's cwtch we use. That's the word we use over here. Cwtch her. And within 10 minutes, the temperature was down to 37, and the throat was fine, and she was eating. So that's the first incident. And then my son, a week later, the temperature of 39. Something told me to try and help him. So I tried to help him. He ran to the bathroom within 10 minutes, was sick. His temperature was down to 37, 36, 37. Within 10 minutes, he was back to normal, and he was fine. And then it's just gone from there then. Yeah, so,
That has to be extremely intense, those type of experiences. So
yeah.
after you healed your family and you were able to become more aware of your capabilities, how did that make you feel?
Well, good, but it sort of inflated my ego a bit, a little bit, which, I'm better with it now, but at the time, I think you sort of think you're invincible. I become invincible a bit, like as you suddenly can do these things, and you say, what, But I was started helping people remotely then. That sort of developed into that. Um, I've been people with COVID and stuff like that. I remember the first time I helped someone with COVID, it was like someone had put me in a washing machine for the next like 6 hours. After I felt awful, really bad, and then I was fine. Next day I found out another person. He's fine. He's totally over it, and he's much better. And I thought, oh, okay, that worked then. But the problem I had back then is I didn't protect myself enough. I didn't ground. I didn't know how to do it. I still have trouble with it now, but I'm better at it now than I was back then. And I was healing more and more people with different ailments, and so my partner was like, I had trouble with her back, and she was going to like, he's a healer and back person, and he's also a healer as well. He was healing her, but I was like, so I could describe it. I was like, say he was bringing a healing to, say 30%. I was making sure it stayed at 30%. I knew I was helping. I was just like, he was like opening the door. I was making it sure it stayed open. I was helping her as well. I don't know how, but I know I've been doing it ever since she's been going there as well. And now I have trouble healing close to me, but it's almost like I know there's a protective circle. I know if they're ill, they're not going to go beyond this circle, and they'll be fine. If you know what I mean, it's like I can't put into words. It's just how I express it. But anyway, I was healing, and I had this like protective circle, as I thought, around us. And I've told you already off camera. I don't want to say on camera. Something happened which really upset me, and quite deep. And basically, the protective circle sort of got broken, and I got COVID. I never got it too bad, but again, it was like I felt like really rejected. I'm helping all these people. Why have I got COVID? I felt like that, but I know with hindsight is because my ego was running riot. I was not publicly. I wasn't saying it, but in my inside, I just felt,
Yeah,
I wasn't going out saying people, oh, look at me, I'm a healer. I wasn't like that at all. But
I know what you mean, but your
yeah,
mindset.
I was off balance, so to speak, back then, and now I'm much more balanced by the whole thing. I'm Again, I'm not publicly. I don't go around telling. people in the street like, oh, I can help you, and like that. Now I help people when I get guided to help them. In the back then, anyone said they had an ailment, I said, oh, do you want me to try and help? Now I know I don't. I get if I get guided to help someone, then I try and help them. Now that's how I do it now, and it feels much better to me to be like that. And so that's what I've gone to now.
How do you attempt to maintain balance now? Like, in order for you to stay grounded, do you practice grounding or balancing rituals prior to doing anything? Or is it something that you usually engage and incorporate after?
Um, I try to focus on a protective circle around myself when I heal, and I try to expel because I've been guilty of in the past. Uh, Say I help someone, I bring it onto me. That what I took off them, I bring it onto me, and I'd be carrying it around me for a few days, and then it would expel from me. And like now, I've learned to I just focus up in the clouds, and I just focus on projected it to the clouds to get it away from me, and that tends to work a bit better. But I use no ritual as such. I think family life have got around me, ground me enough. You know what I mean? My son and my partner do that enough, so I don't really. Maybe I should, but it's like there's no manual with this. You'll be excuse me. You've been given a gift. I just sort of like learning as I go along, and I make mistakes, yes, and it's all part of the learning process to me.
Right. It's kind of like you're just guided and you move how you're guided to
Now, yeah, I do it more like that now.
move. Definitely. There's a movie called The Green Mile. Have you ever seen that movie
Yeah, I love that
before?
film. Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
John Coffey, when he heals, he usually does something similar to what you were saying about releasing it out into the clouds. He
yeah.
releases it out to the atmosphere. So that's something that is extremely relatable as far as perspective and comprehension. Now, this has been some years that you've been able to do this. Is that correct
Yeah,
now?
since my I
Yeah.
think my late 20s. Yeah,
Okay. Do you ever feel intimidated by your capabilities? Like, does it ever feel overwhelming? Like maybe you should not be doing it? If not, should not? Or is it like any time to where you feel a little discouraged to step into your full power?
no, not really at all. No, it's changed as well. That's another thing. Since when I had COVID, I sort of stopped healing. Um, I've greatly reduced the amount of healing I did to everyone around me for a long time. It took about 2 years, and then it started coming back, but it was much greater. It was more like visual than before. It's hard to put into words. I would like. Uh, it's hard to, when it started and it was like visual. Like I'd be focusing on someone and I'd see like switches or buttons and I'd just be click that, do that. And that's how it was. It was like when I came back to it. It was never like that before. And now that I'm healing again, a bit more regular than I was. Now it's becoming like it was before. But it's again, I'm much more balanced now. As I say, I got to feel guided before I help someone now, and I don't know if I help them or not. Some I do, some I don't. It doesn't really matter. It's just if the forces that be going to work through me, then they are. If they're not, if it's not meant to be, then they don't. That's the way I view it. You know, it's not I'm a failure if I can't heal someone because maybe I'm not meant to heal someone because as you know yourself, some people are meant to have like a certain path to walk on. Maybe they're meant to be ill throughout their path to learn, teach them a lesson or what. You know what I mean? That's the way. So you can't interfere that with that. I can't come along and heal them or something they're meant to have perhaps all their life or meant to have to teach them a life lesson. But the balance for me, the hard point is knowing when I can and when I can't. So now, as I say, I try to get led to where to heal people. So at least I feel then, okay, I'm getting directed to do this now. So this means it must be more right to do it. You know.
Oh, 1 second, 1 second. Your phone was it was getting. I mean, your computer was getting a little choppy. Can you say something again for me?
Hello, you hear me?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. It just for a second it was going out, and I didn't want you to get too deep, and then we miss a lot. So
Okay.
it's great now.
Okay. Oh.
But yeah, you're right. Some people sometimes like our destiny is our destiny, and certain things are ours to carry, our crosses to bear. Um, when regards to what you do, and you say you like to be like to kind of be guided, do you have you ever been in a position to where you're like out and like you feel something around you and you're like, I should address this, and maybe it's with a person or a situation, and you kind of just it'll be like a random person and you have like a message that you're guided to provide them, or any type of instance like that?
Um, I've had messages for people I know, not random people, but I have healed random people or been healing them. I've been standing by someone and I thought, what the heck? And I could feel it coming from me, and I would be healing them, and I don't know them at all, but yet I know I'm healing them. That has happened. Um, and it used to be a little bit better now if I go into supermarkets and stuff like that. Oh, I come out of there and I'd be exhausted. So God knows what was good. I was actually doing this subconsciously. I don't know, but I know I'm possibly helping people or whatever. I don't know, but I come out of there and I'd be like, oh, I never want to go in a shop again. You know, not quite so bad now as it was. Um, I do feel when I started healing, as I call it, Mark Two healing, I had to sort of think, okay, right, I'm ready to do this now. And I thought, but I don't need to get more protection. And with that night, I was lying in bed and suddenly a vision came in my head of these like, I don't know, guardian angels, whatever. They showed me like three or four of them, and they were like in armor, and I was like basically showing you got all the protection you needed. They're here. You know, I thought, okay, that's felt a bit better. I remember looking at them, and then I suddenly snapped out. What am I looking at? I remember the last one was as a female in pink, but she was like pink armor or something. And that's when I came around. I thought, what am I looking at? There's about three or four of them. I'm like an armor like in Lord of the Rings, you know, with the dwarves and the armor like that. It's like that. So it's quite cool. So I remember seeing that. So
It's it's cool. Okay, so what do you feel like is your biggest setback when it comes to being yourself and being able to project your abilities, share those abilities, if there are any setbacks? What do you feel like, besides the balancing, what is holding you back from your full potential with your capabilities?
uh, maybe confidence. Maybe I'm quite confident in myself, but with spiritual stuff, I'm a little bit like more under the surface. But I know even that's going to change soon. Had a little glimpse. I was showing it the other day actually, um, showing me that my spirituality, I sort of it's usually just below the surface with me, you know. And it was shown that it was going to become like above the surface. It's going to be people are going to see it more in me as a surface, thing. I don't know if that makes any sense. Um,
No, yeah,
you know what I
perfect
mean?
sense.
It's like I don't know. It's just something I could see it. You know, I could see it now. Um, the spiritual confidence is going to come to the surface, which is not there at present. That's what if I lack anything, it's that. And like even like the podcast video which I shared one with the other day on on the Discord, Wonderful World Witness Discord, and you watched the first one.
Yeah.
Even that, I was lacking confidence for putting that on my page publicly, my YouTube channel publicly. But I've now did that yesterday. Huge sense of relief when I actually did it. I thought, oh, this is right, and it's so much nice feedback from people about it. I thought, oh, what was I worrying about? But that's lack of confidence in that respect, you know what I mean? But as a person, like I'm the sort of person always encouraging people around me. You be your best, do this, do that. Aim for what you can. And I'm like that, but spiritual stuff, I'm trying to be a bit more like dragging my feet, sort of sometimes.
Do
But
you feel as though maybe you're like that because it's new to you? Not necessarily new, but you're more embracive as you grew. Like you had these abilities for a while, but you kind of let them just sit around subtly until it was something that you felt like you could actually engage with and be able to open up towards more. So is that perhaps the reason for it being under the surface?
maybe, yeah. Well, as I say, when I first healed, I was really young, and it was like completely out of nowhere, and it's like it freaked me out. So that was like suppressed. Go away. I'm not ready for you. Yeah. But I was doing it like in small ways. Since then, but like not like proper, just small ways. Um, but it was say through meeting that, taking our son to that healer, that it sort of got me going again. That's what started it again. So it was meant to be. Now, if I'd have healed my son myself, then again I might have just stayed in the background and I wouldn't be maybe talking to you now. It was just meant that some things in life, events, have got to happen, haven't they? You've got to like a piece of a jigsaw, and that was a piece of a jigsaw. Meeting that healer, and he's helped me quite a bit actually. He's a very talented guy, and yeah, so that's piece. Just it's the same with Roger interviewing me if you about a month ago, wherever it was, because he interviewed me. It opened up something in me again, and then I started doing the interviews, and you were my first interview on One for World Awareness. So it all see like one piece again. That's another piece of the jigsaw puzzle. One piece leads to another. That's why I think life is a jigsaw puzzle, and when you're coming to the end of your life, it's that when you put the last piece in and then you move on. That's my view of it.
Wow, that makes perfect sense. Very visual. I was wondering, where would you see yourself like taking your healing? Like right now, you're kind of just like you said, right below the surface.
Yeah.
You're not really. So, where do you see yourself taking your healing?
Um. Well, I think through my YouTube channel, it's going to go through that because I can reach so many people through that, more people through that than probably any other way that I can like locally or anyone can do it. I think it's already started to happen. Some people are saying how at peace I make them feel when they're watching my videos and stuff like that. So I think it's already starting. I think it's going to go from that direction. Even
Now
if it's
you
just
have. Go ahead. I apologize.
yeah, I can't remember. It's okay, you go. I can't remember. Now I was gonna say
I was just gonna say you have your wonderful world of weirdness. This is the YouTube channel that you're referring to, and
yeah.
I was wondering what now you don't have to share too many details, but I know that at one point you kind of slowed down with your YouTube channel and then you came back. What kind of triggered the slowdown, and then what actually brought on and influenced the great welcome back?
Well, it started off with COVID. That slowed me right down because I had my son at home, so I couldn't do the videos like I used to. That was the first. It kept happening like the things were putting hurdles in my way all the time. So then he went back to school, and so I started doing them in a slightly different way. I was narrating stories and stuff from people. Again, a different direction from I originally was with One for World doing this. And then again, he got bullied at school, and he was off school for 3 months. So then again, I couldn't make the videos, and it just the final straw was there was a video I saw that a lady posted. It's one of the most amazing pieces of life after death footage I've seen. It's absolutely amazing, and I wanted to share it on One for World Awareness, and the lady was grieving, and I'm going to go into details about it. So obviously she said no, which I totally understand. I shouldn't really have asked. And it was like, nah, that's it. And I just stopped. Combination of reasons just stopped. Then my son even went back to school, and I just stopped. I just like don't worry, I just give up on it, and I didn't think I was going to go back to it. It was only after, say, speaking to Roger that it sort of kick-started something in me, and so I went from there.
It's been doing good as well. Just
Yeah.
like for anyone who is listening and you come across this interview, make sure you check out John's Wonderful World of Weirdness. I'll have links posted in the description for this video, for this interview. But yeah, no, you're doing great. And I really do admire what you're doing with the spiritual journey part,
Yeah,
because it's just you being able to be vulnerable, be open, and just show more of you. So that's
yeah.
very necessary. Like, yeah, you're doing good with that. Um, what would you like to do more of? Like, what, like, you're doing this with YouTube, but like, if you could and there were no, absolutely no boundaries, what would it be that you would like to be able to do more of in regards to healing, or in regards to anything, but more focused on like the healing aspect?
Um, I'm not sure. I just feel that a platform I've given through YouTube, and I'm fortunate enough to build it up to the level that it's quite high level that it is now. That it's there for a reason. That I'm doing it for a reason. It's all linked to healing. I'm becoming more aware as well as time goes on, and I think it's all part of the parcel. I'm just meant to use Wonderful Awareness as a platform for um, what I can do, and I just like to make it more successful. I think, I think that I'll do it. I think that I will make it successful. Um, so we'll see if I'm right, but
Mm.
I think that I will.
I
Um,
think you will. I
yeah,
think you're going great places with it. Just being able to step out into out of your comfort zone and into like your whole aspect of yourself, as opposed to kind of suppressing a part of yourself just
yeah.
for the sake of acceptance. So no, that's definitely something great that you're doing. Now, when you heal, what you, I heard you say that you've been sitting next to people and been able to kind of transfer energy, you've given hugs and been able to transfer energy.
Yeah.
What do you feel, or what have you seen has been your most successful and efficient way of healing, like with maybe the quickest return or at least the longest results?
Um, it's pretty much the same, to be honest. It's um, um, whereas one thing of healing I did a few years ago now, I haven't done it since. I haven't felt compelled to go that direction since. Because when I'm remotely healing, sometimes, not always, sometimes you see a person like a tapestry almost, right? And they, you can see like emotions, trapped emotions, old emotions, like coals on their soul, like a picture. And I did this only for a few weeks because I got drawn to do it. And basically, what it was is I was trying to help the person. I was removing like the bad emotions, helping remove the bad emotions. And with one person I did it with, they said, "Oh my God, I don't know what you've done." They said, "I feel like I'm 16 again. I feel so amazing." And that was one of the most successful things I've ever done. But now I don't do it anymore. But maybe I'll be called to do it in the future. Who knows? I have helped people with depression as well. I found that really rewarding. I do find that because I can help that way as well. Um, Helping people with COVID was, there was one story. There's one. There was a woman who was one of the moderators, on my original moderators on Wonderful World of Witness. Something told me one day to message her, so I messaged her, and I said, "Oh, she posted something. Something called me to talk to her anyway." She just grabbed a red hot frying pan, and she was in America, and I was in where I am in Wales. And I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, it'll be fine." He said, as soon as I spoke to her, she instantly felt calmer. The pain in her hand and wrist stopped. Her hand was starting to bubble up. That all stopped. She felt no more pain. She went to ER about an hour after, as a precaution, and the doctor looked at her hand and wrist and said, "When did you say you did this?" And she said, "About just over an hour ago." He said, "That's at least a day's healing there," he said. on the hand, and she said, but the next day, it was like she looked at her hand. It was like she'd never had. There was no bubbling. There was no scarring. There was no redness. There was nothing. It was gone completely. So that's probably one of the most successful heals I did, I think.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. Wow. So I'm gonna take it to like a little lighter note, just
yeah.
simple stuff. What are your favorite foods?
um, I don't know. Like I'm a.
Those are the tough questions. Healing
Yeah,
season.
I try to
Healing
think.
season.
I like food. You can tell. Look at me. I love food. Um, I like curries and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I never used to when I was
What
young.
curry chicken, curry
Yeah,
goat,
chicken.
curry.
Yeah, chicken
Okay,
curry. I
curry
like
chicken.
that a lot. Yeah. Um,
Awesome.
I used to be like into like I don't know if they have it in the States, like the fish and do you have fish and chip shops over there? English fish and chip shops over there?
Well, fish and chips will be like fish fillets and fries type things.
Yeah. Well, some they
Yeah,
do it different. I don't know if they do the same in America as they have here. I used to love like stuff like that, but as I've gone older, I've sort of gone off that a bit. You know, I don't know why. Just changed.
yeah. Your palate changes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What about
Um,
you? Go ahead.
yeah, and I love chocolate. So
Chocolate. Yes.
love chocolate.
Yes.
Chocolate,
Chocolate is
yes. I wake up in the morning,
medicine.
first thing I do eat
Amazing
chocolate.
chocolate. That's funny. But chocolate is definitely a win over this side. Um, what are your favorite books?
I don't read anymore. I haven't
Okay.
read in years.
And you know what I like? So I have a double standard with read, like it's a double edged sword. I like to read, but I also know when we're reading, we're incorporating other people's experiences,
Yeah.
and as a result, when we're attempting to learn ourselves, it'll kind of be to where we start grounding in their existence a little bit more than we're grounding in our own. So
Mm.
you have to be careful. I'm kind of choosy with what it is that I read just to not be too overly influenced. So I understand that. What about pastime? What's your favorite pastime? Like, if there's no baby to worry about, and even preferably it's just you. Now, if your favorite pastime is with your partner, fine. But like, if it's just you and you're no responsibility, what is it that we can guarantee you're going to be doing?
Well, 10 years ago, I probably been in the pub, but I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk in 8 years.
Okay.
No, I just enjoy walking the dog. I love that. It's being one with nature, so to speak. Being usually like to get off the away from roads, stuff like that. You know, paths away from roads. Yeah, I enjoy that a lot. It recharge. It feels like it recharges me sometimes. I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
battery, and I feel like recharged when I go walks and like that. So it's nice. Um, I play like video games as well. I do enjoy that. You know, pastime. Uh, I'm pretty boring really. I don't really watch TV, so I can't really say I don't really watch hardly anything on TV.
It's so funny you call that being boring. I feel like you're more active and less boring. Most people just sitting around watching TV kind of
Yeah,
seems
no, I
boring
don't. No,
more than
never.
not.
I never watch the news. Never watch media. I don't watch anything. I try to avoid all that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
smart. It's
yeah,
really smart. Well, there was one day that you shared an experience, and if you don't want to share, that's fine. If you'd rather not share, that's fine. But where you took a picture and the sky had been gray that day,
yeah,
and then you had. Can you share, elaborate a little bit on
yeah.
the experience to which I'm referring?
That okay. Well, what it was, I interviewed a lady called Shannon Thomas, whose energy was really, really strong, and it affected me. I couldn't get. I kept losing my track when I was trying to interview her, and she's a very strong medium, very gifted individual, and really gifted medium. And again, talking about awakening, she sort of awakened something in me because the next day I saw spirit. I was at a castle, medieval castle. I saw a spirit of probably a 16th century man in there, which I never have before. I saw him. And I thought, oh, okay, and I was fine. And then, like a few minutes later, I put a little bit of shock. I thought, my God, I just seen a ghost. At the time, I was like, oh, okay. And then the same day, a little while after, I saw a deceased friend who not long passed away. I saw him like just for a few seconds, but I saw him. So I think it's like she'd woken something in me. And when I was talking to her, it came from the other side that I'm a sort of like a trainee medium that came to her when I was talking to her. So that's sort of tied in. Same day then, my partner took a picture of me with the golden clouds, and I looked at the picture since she took it, and I thought, what the? Why are there clouds like that? Look straight back. It was just blue, normal blue clouds, blue grey clouds. And yet I looked at the picture. It was golden. I just don't know what it meant or it meant anything, but it was quite freaky that it came out like that. And every picture she took of me that day had that golden sky in the background. Pictures that they were taking of the children and stuff were there because my nephew was there as well. They were fine. There was none of that there. So I just don't know what to say. It's quite freaky, but in a nice way, you know. And we saw the
How
rainbow
were
being
you
formed as
feeling?
well. It was just nice as well seeing that.
How were you feeling during this experience? Like, what that? Like, how was your energy during this time?
Yeah, good. Vibration was very high after the interview the day before. I think I was still like, because interviewing can make me go up another level. Um, when I interviewed the chap last week, I can't think of his name now. That was probably the highest I've ever been afterwards. It was like crazy. I was so like I
I
can't
gotta
explain it.
watch
I
that.
was, you know.
I saw you posted it. I haven't watched that one. I listened to a little bit of some of the others,
Yeah,
but there's two that I haven't really engaged with that is still on my list of.
yeah. They're very long. It's the trouble, isn't it?
Well,
But
you know what though? My thing is when I listen to stuff like that, I don't like to kind of have it on as background noise.
yeah,
So, yeah, and so if I listen to it, I'd like to be engaged with it, not kind of just, oh, let me just hear. Now, I'll do that if I would like to help get views up on stuff. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, put some of Roger's stuff on in the background because half of that stuff I'm a part of. So it's just like, I'm just going to help us get some streams type thing. But like when it's something that I've not been a part of and it's my first time engaging with, like I prefer to be able to like focus my attention and be
yeah.
attentive to it.
I get you.
So
Yeah, yeah. So I'm the
where do you
same.
at the YouTube channel is something that you are building? Do you see yourself like opening maybe like a facility or opening your home or going out and traveling and doing these things if requested? Like, do you like if someone watches this interview and they're like, "Oh, I could use healing," and they're just unable to like grasp the concept of it being done remotely? Is something one on one something you'd be willing to do, or is that
Yeah, of
something
course.
you'd rather go?
I've never turned anyone down. As not many people have asked me because not many people know I can do it. I probably said more on one word awareness that I have in public, you know, to people like know me closely and stuff. But yeah, I've never turned anyone down. Anyone has asked me for help, I've always tried to help them. Some I can help, some I'm not meant to help, as I said earlier. But I do try, you know. I have tried. There's one girl I helped with COVID. Her dad asked me to help her, and she's got Rett syndrome. I think they call it. Have you heard of that?
Rat syndrome?
Rett syndrome.
Oh, RAGT.
Yeah, it's got like they
Rat.
they got uh they got like symptoms of autism. They're like trapped in their body. They can't really move. They can't speak. It's a horrible thing to have.
Yeah.
And they were normal children when they were babies. They were normal, completely normal, and it sort of developed. And anyway, I was asked.
They developed this from COVID.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
No, this girl with this Rett syndrome had COVID. Did not develop from
gotcha.
COVID. No, no, nothing to do with that. Anyway, I was asked to help her, and I said, of course, yeah, I'll try. And I did, but I can tell you this now: the this little girl was like, if our vibration say is here, she was like up here. She was like an angel. I don't know. She was way above anyone I know on this planet, vibration wise. And yet she was trapped in this body. It was almost like that was her calling on the earth, was to be, you know, to do what she's going through. Because of my God, she was. Oh, I guess can't describe it. She was. It was such an emotional experience because when you heal, you're like like it's like my energy reacts with a person's energy because you self heal. My energy, say I was trying to healing you now, my energy would mix with your energy and it like raises your vibration so you can technically heal yourself. That's basically what it's, in a sense, what I'm sort of doing. And if you can't heal yourself, then I actually, through I channeling heals you for that way as well. But so when I was interacting with that girl, I honestly, her soul was, whatever it is, spirit, it was just amazing. Really, it was so emotional. It was so special, It's like you were trying to help heal like an angel or something like that. It was like a different level to any person I've ever healed before or since, so far anyway. So it's really special. So the people out there with disabilities and stuff like that, born with disabilities, who to say that they're all like that. They may have this special, I don't know, but all I know is it was really special. It was one of those special healings that I've done, and I did help her get rid of COVID. Yeah, she was fine after, so as well. So
And does she exercise any type of healing capabilities outwardly? Was it something that, since like you said, you're able to transfer? Did you transfer your energy to her to give her ability to be able to heal others, or?
no, she already. I think she probably already got it. Yeah, um, it's and I've also been shown because her father is seriously ill. He's very very ill, and I've also been shown that if he could spend time, because he's got two girls that are like this, got this Rett syndrome. If he can't be with them at the moment because of his illness, but if he could be with them, they would help him. I know they would, because of where they are, they're inside where they are. But it's just that he can't be with them at the moment so much because of his health and stuff. Um, and I'm trying to help him as well. I am trying, but it's it's really hard because he's so ill. I'm just trying my best. I am trying, but we just see what happens there. As I say, that's the difference for me healing now to like 5 years ago. If I didn't succeed in helping someone 5 years ago, it'd be I failed. Now I know sometimes they're just not meant to do it, and now I'm chilled with it. Now it's fine. It is what it is. And I say I heal them. It's not me. I'm channeling it from the source. The of everything. That's what I'm channeling. It's not me doing it. Physically, sometimes, as I said to you, I do get tired from doing it. I get drained and I get ravenously hungry and stuff like that. It's insane how hungry I get after doing healing sometimes. But it's just otherwise. It's from the source, as I call it. Because I say I'm not religious. I don't. But I believe in God. I believe in higher selves and stuff like that. But I'm not religious in any way now. But people out there who are religious, then that's fine.
So
They are who they are, isn't it?
when?
Yeah. What's the matter?
Oh wow, that was a weird glitch thing that just happened. Did that happen on your side? Did you see
Yeah, I
it?
saw you. You just froze for a second. Yeah, and then you were like, as if you dropped off to sleep and you just woke up. It was like this. I was wondering what was happening.
Well, for you, it was all fast forwarding. Like it's all fast. It was like
Is it?
like that's how it sounded. When yeah, that's how it sounded. You sound like a chipmunk, and it's like even your movement was like rapid, really rapid. Like
Oh
it
no.
is like it goes fast forwarding, but you'll see it when you look at the video. So I'm not gonna hold you too long. I have a few more questions. I just would like to know, what would you like people to know about you? What was it? What would it be like when people come or they're engaging with your videos and they're thinking about reaching out to you or interacting with you? Like, what are some things you would like people to know?
Well, I don't bite. I'm approachable. I'm not like you know I I just, if people want my help, if they want to speak to me, if I can encourage people, I think that's one of the reasons I'm on this planet. It's to sort of bring light into people's. Some people who've got darkness in their life. I'm here to try and bring light into that darkness. That's my view. That's what I think I'm meant here to do. Anyway, I think that's what I'm here for. Um, but I am what I am. In my wonderful wilderness before, I used to try and change what I did to try and suit the masses the way they wanted to see, do what they wanted to see, and basically, in the end, no, it wasn't me, and you know, because I'm a great believer. If you keep getting hurdles in your way, there's a reason for it. It means you've got to go a different direction. You've got to do something different. You can't. The hurdles are there for a reason. You've got to like stop and take note of why they're there, and that's what's happened to me so many times with my wonderful weirdness channel. Got demonetized all the time, and I had my income dropped by 3/4 overnight, and there were all sorts of stuff, happened with it. And I think with hindsight, it was just to tell me, hang on, you go in the wrong direction. You need to sort of take stock, and that's why I think I've had breaks from it, just to get myself to where I am today on it. So,
How do you feel about yourself? Like, if you could just like describe not who you are, because I think we kind of understand you're a healer and you enjoy helping people, but emotionally, how is your emotional intelligence?
um, much better than it was. Um, through being a healer, you've got to, if you're going to develop as a healer, you have to self heal as well. Emotionally, mentally, you have to do it, and I've had to over the years, and I have. Which I think I said on my first, it was on my first podcast, was it? The about the sign I had from my mother.
Hmm.
Yeah, well that.
Can you share? Would you mind sharing? I know I'm familiar, but I
Yeah,
don't tell your story. So, do you mind sharing?
yeah, at all. I basically what it was. I was on a Facebook group and I saw people saying they should ask their loved ones that passed over for signs, and I just saw it and I thought, oh, I'll just try this. It's actually on my mother's birthday. I'm sure it was on her birthday one year, and I just sat on the kitchen table and I asked for a sign. I visualized my mother hugging me. Actually, that's what I actually visualized. I thought of it, and the next thing I felt someone embraced me, and obviously there was no one physically in the room with me, and I knew it was my mother, and it was like, wow, what the. But and then emotionally, and I sort of connected with her that evening when I was meditating, but it wasn't like a clear connection. I couldn't really properly, but I did see her. I did see her. I know I did. But emotionally, then for a few days after, my emotions were all over the place because I'd had 40 years of grief, and even though I've had signs from my mother over the years, she's been there, loads of signs, but it's 40 years of grief, and then it was like, why am I grieving? My mother's still here. I don't need to grieve anymore. I don't need to grieve and I maybe I do a little bit, but my grief was probably lost about 90% of it since that incident because I know that she's here with me, and that helped me become a better healer because I didn't have that grief holding my energy back because I released it. You see what I mean? I got
Right.
there was an incident. I'm not going to go into it, but it was an incident happened quite traumatic when I was very young, and that caused me a lot of anger and stuff like that. I've gone past that now. I'm fine. Forgiven what went on. I've forgiven the people that were involved, and I'm fine about it. Again, I've had to do it because you can't. I can't. You can't. Like I say, you can't push out 80% healing energy if you're emotionally only able to output 40% because your emotions are blocking it. They're like, um, say your spirituality was like a hose, water coming through a hose, and say it was a hose and we left outside and there was bits of mold and stuff going in it. That's what it's like. Emotions. That's what old emotions do. They sort of restrict your energy, the flow. And I've been shown that, and that's one of the things I've had to deal with is to try to make myself as open, to healing and to be self healed as I could for that reason, because I know if that makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you in relation. Do you ever feel or see yourself retrogression, like to where you're seeing to where you are you everything's going good, you're healing, you're happy, you're grounded, and then all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit withdrawn, detached from reality, or detached from yourself more or less than detached from reality.
Not really. No, not so much now. No, no. I have in the past, but not now. Um, because I just I'm not allowed to be. I'm not allowed. I've just shown there's no need to be. I've just tried to keep like I am, like where I am. Um, I'm fortunate that I get some time to myself most days because my son's in school and stuff. Because I do need time to myself. Even if it's just walking the dog for like for 10 minutes, I got to have some time to myself every day. I have to. If I don't, then I really can't function as a human being very well. I am that sort of person. I need to have some solitude, even if it's just a very small amount by walking a dog or something. I need to have that. If I can't have that, then I start to feel myself
Off
like a
balance.
volcano gonna erupt. So I feel like it's the only thing. I will say that, yeah,
Yeah, I get off balance. I'm an only child, so for me, I'm an only child. My mom was a physician, so I spent a lot of time alone. So that is
yeah,
literally my foundation. So
yeah,
if it's something to where, and now I am single mom, and my kids homeschool, and so it's a little bit different. And so like, but they know, and that's one thing I value about them, because I'll just tell them like, hey guys, I you gotta go. Like I don't no touching. No, we gotta have a little break from each other.
yeah.
And so that kind of works. That's good. That self awareness is definitely very useful and necessary. Now, what advice would you give to people that are attempting to embrace their full selves, and maybe they have these type of feelings, these type of emotions, awarenesses of these type of capabilities that they perhaps are suppressing, and like, but what advice would you give to someone attempting to embark on their own personal spiritual journey?
Leave go of the past. First thing, don't live in the past. Leave go. Let go of the trivial stuff, like wondering, well, about, oh, should I have said this to so and so, if this, or if you're like you're a person that's looking for a relationship, oh, does he like me? Does Leave go of all that. It doesn't matter. It's not important. The What you need to do is become one with yourself. You're like your spiritual ego self. You've got to become true to yourself. You've got to become one with yourself. You really don't need anyone but yourself and the source if you want to become more spiritual, or if that's what you're looking for. You need to maybe meditate a little bit. You need you don't you shouldn't drink and drugs, stuff like that, unless that's what you want to do. That's entirely up to the person, but it doesn't really help you. It just lowers your vibration, especially drink. I don't know so much of drugs because I don't really never really had much to do with them anyway, so I can't really say about that. But drinking definitely can lower your vibration for sure. It doesn't help one bit. If you're trying to become more spiritually aware, if you're not bothered about that, if you're happy, if you just want to like sit around watch Netflix every night and go to work, come home, watch Netflix, whatever, that's fine. That's what you want to do. It's fine. Everyone's different. Um, everyone is. We're all different. But for me, that's how I would do it. First, most important thing: the past is leave the past in the past. A song by Pearl Jam I love playing in the car called "Rearview Mirror." I don't know if you know the song. That song is amazing. I love that song. It's basically about you just leaving everything behind. Leave it behind. Like, if you had a bad day yesterday, it was yesterday. It's gone. Now it's today's. Today's a new day. It's a new birth, a new day. You just leave it behind. It's gone. And you. That's why I think that's what I think it is, something like that lines. Don't know if I've explained it very well, but
No, it makes sense absolutely. should
Yeah.
focus on your goal. Like I
Yeah. Focus your
always tell
goal.
people, focus on your idealism, focus on where you're going and not where you've been. Never let anything that you've experienced define who you are today.
Exactly. That's
You
it.
can use
Definitely.
it as a building block,
Yeah.
but I'm just because you have a window in the house, it's a part of the house, but it's not the house. Oh,
Yeah.
without window there's no house. No, absolutely not. The window is necessary. It gives you a certain type of view, a certain type of perspective, but it's
Mm.
just that it serves the purpose of a window. It
That's
is
it.
not the foundation of your existence. So definitely, um, I appreciate that. I respect that. Now, when you were talking about hindrances, and you said maybe confidence. Like, are there any other things that you feel as though may get in your way of excelling to your full self besides confidence? Is there anything that, and you said that's getting better as you move along and the more
Yeah.
you yourself. Is there anything else you feel like might hold you back, or anything, or that might even hold other people back?
Um. Other people, it's difficult to say because without knowing the individuals, it's really difficult to say. Like my partner now, she's total opposite to me. It's probably why we get on so well. She like worries about everything. She's not as chilled as me. She's anxious about stuff. I try to help her, but it's really difficult to do it. But I do try, and you know, it's it's really difficult. You know, I'm fortunate to be in the position I'm in. When I was young, I used to say, I'm gonna finish work when I'm 50. I'm not gonna work anymore after I get to 50. A week before my 51st birthday, I finished work. So I was still 50 and I finished work. And I started this when I was my son was a baby. I started One for the Witness then because to have something to do, and it turned into well quite a massive thing in the end. Um, but you know, it's I forgot the question. I've lost track now. What did I?
No. What type of hindrances do you feel besides lacking any confidence or anything? And I said other people as well. Like, what do you feel like are some obstacles? And you said you weren't able to really speak about other people just because it would be different for individuals, which makes sense. But what do you see some commonalities in you that might cause you to kind of like not exercise your full potential besides confidence?
Um, not really. No, it might. Yeah, I might sound a bit like cocky. I don't know because um, I got a lot of faith in my abilities. Um, like not many people can make. I don't want to sound conceited now, but not many people can create a channel with 141,000 subs. You know, not many people can do that. Most people will quit way I before that. But I knew I could do it before I even started. I knew I could do it, and I focused and focused and focused, and I can do it. And I know anything I focus on, I can do it. So it's difficult for me, but I see people like trapped in their own anxieties. Say trapped in the past, in a sense. Um, Allow themselves to be content with. I see it virtually nothing really. Just the fact that they've got a roof over their head and watch a bit of TV. Which okay, some people give their right arm to have that because they don't have that, and I do get that. Yeah, but people just got to leave their anxiety. They've got to get rid of their anxiety. Anxiety is the biggest thing I see stopping people getting on in life. I'm lucky I don't suffer with it much. I'm very rare I do now, but it does hold a lot of people back. Anxiety, and it's the biggest thing I see in the world today, holding people back, worrying about stuff, anxious about stuff. And it's hard to cure it. It's the person has to do it, but it's really hard to do. It's one of the hardest things to do. I get rid of my anxiety. I just send it to the sky. Just get rid of it. Go, go. Visualize it and send it up there. 99% of the time it works. Because I'm usually only ever anxious if I take an anxiety off my partner. Because as a healer, I sometimes do it. Sometimes I don't even realizing I'm doing it. I just take anxiety off her, and the next thing I'm walking around thinking like a steam train. I think, what the hell's going on? And I realize then what I've done, and then I send it away from myself. But people out there that they say they're worrying about trivial stuff, just need to let go. If they're worried about their job, they're worried about their if they're in a relationship that's not good for them, get out of the relationship. be on your own for a while. Learn to love yourself before you love others. Learn to get right with yourself. Um, let go of worrying about everything. Let go of anxiety. Just go out for a walk on a beach. You may be on your own. Just let the let nature heal you. It's out there. It's just people don't reach for it. Don't look for it. It's out there. And even my phone's going off now, ding dong. As you know, just stuff on that lines. That's something I've ever talked about. It's just, but I think things on that line. You know what I mean? Because
Right, goes back.
anxiety,
This stuff is that serenity prayer. Grant you, so God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So yes, that definitely makes sense. Um, is there anything else you'd like to share?
um, no, I can think of offhand. No, no, I think I'm pretty. No, but if anyone out there watches this needs help, um, even to find their spiritual way, whatever, then they can contact me. I don't mind. I'll try and help anyone. There's, they. Um, I know Roger said the other day. I don't think I heard him. He says that streamy the other day about uh, not sharing his spirituality much because people can use it against you or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my view is I know what's behind the curtain. I know what's on the other side, and if the worst happens, and you know, um, when I pass away and something like that, if anything bad happens because of me sharing my spirit, I don't really care because I know this isn't the end. You know what I mean? I'd care because I lose leaving with my family and stuff behind. Yes, but I know this isn't the end of it. You know what I mean? It's just like stepping stepping out of your home into the countryside. It's just something like that. From when we pass away from here to go outside, that's to go to the other side. That's pretty much what it is. Just we're stepping out one room into a much bigger room, and it's just basically it. And as I said before, I've been given this I really believe I've been created this platform on Food Doing so that people I could share with people and help people, and I think that's my path. That's what I'm led to do, and I will continue to do as long as I'm guided to do it. If in the future I'm shown now, no, you not do that anymore, or you got to do a different direction, obviously I'll just deal with that at the time if it happens. So
Right. Okay, now I have a question that's a little bit off topic. You said that you were watching one of my shows and you were guided to tell me that to embrace my change and kind of
yeah,
like get out of my comfort zone. Where were you watching? Where were you watching my stream at? Where would you where?
it was the one that the other night when Roger was talking about the skinwalkers.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
You
okay.
were
Yeah.
saying about you were like
Would you rather be dead or yeah?
yeah, that one, yeah, that one, yeah. It was to
I
do with that. It came up through there because I sometimes feel with you that I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I sometimes feel like the past is sometimes trying to affects you. Then, so let's say that way. Yeah, affects you now. The past affects you now sometimes, and I think that's where that message came through. I think I don't really know, but it just came through.
Well, I'm a lot more reserved because I noticed that people will steal. They
Yeah,
pretend, like how he was saying, protecting your energy. What they do is they latch onto your energy, proclaim it as their own, and then they end up monetizing off of it or being able to use what they get from you. And
yeah,
so and I was free giving with myself, very open with my abilities, with my capabilities, with my access, with my knowledge, and people were in those cases it's not stealing, but what would it be would be I'd be myself and I'd be open and confident in
yeah,
myself, and people would tell me I was wrong for how I was, and then steal what I was doing and do it themselves. They would tell me, no, you can't do this, but hey, we can. And then that became a problem for me because now it's to the point to where I purposely cause distortion in order for people to kind of leave me alone, because I'd rather, if you're going to copy something, let me do what I'm capable of doing, and then you do what you're capable of doing. If
mm,
you're incapable of doing what I'm doing, then you should learn from me, not discourage me from doing to make a cheap imitation of it, because it is a cheap imitation. It's just a matter of whether or not people are as real as me, type of thing. And
Yeah.
like I said, like I love Roger because he brings me back. Like I there's a lot of times I just want to walk away. I don't like sharing myself with people because I feel as though a lot of people are very selfish. They're
Well, they are.
undeserving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't deserve to have the access to me. And like having like my systems hacked, like my phones are all hacked, my computers are all hacked, all my socials are hacked. And for me, it's like, why are you doing these things if it's because you admire me? Because I have channels, I have a spiritual consultation company, like I have an energy restoration company legally registered in Florida. People could pay me for what I do. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have to steal it from me. So when they are attempting to steal it from me, I often hope for things to not go the way as they would like. So I have to, I, I, I find myself putting more out that would be not just to where people are kind of standoffish from it or question the energy, as opposed to me giving my full. Because when, like I said, when I gave my full, people felt it like, oh, she's too confident. Oh, she's too sure of herself.
Mm.
Oh, she thinks she's better. When it wasn't really that. It's just how you were saying you get your messages that you're guided to provide. And that's the same thing. So you're right in a sense because that's what I project, but that's a strategic projection based off of experience.
Yeah.
It's not and outwardly in public, if people are around me, my past not so much as an effect, but on social media, because of AI, because of people literally making money off of our likenesses and not paying us for them, where they're becoming billionaires and we're just sitting here barely scraping
Mm.
ends, just feeling like Netflix is the only option, type of thing. It becomes to a point to where it's like that has to be stopped. So I take that responsibility onto myself, and I feel like I'm going to stop it with me. I'm going to make it to where I'm not worth being watched, at least to the people that are watching, or until where they do something that they see and it kind of gets them in a bind more than it frees them, because there's a righteous and a legitimate way for people to handle stuff. And if you're you should we shouldn't be pirating, or piracy is illegal. You're not supposed to steal copyrighted content. Well, for me, it's my experience, it's my life. It shouldn't be taken from me because someone else has access to me that has not been warranted. And you know what I mean? I don't feel as though you should be able to capitalize off of something I put years of blood, sweat, and tears into, and you just kind of fall upon me and then kind of just say, well, I'm just going to pretend that this is my life. And so, and I'm guided very much by source to as to what I say and like what I do, and just like allowing people to know what, like, hey, look, I can tell you this much I do know, but I don't never tell. Like now I never tell how much I know, because I've told how much I've known in the past, and I've learned that when people know how much you know, they know what your vulnerabilities are, they know what your weaknesses are. And so you kind of have to leave, especially when you know that it's not legit, because someone that cares about you, someone that's there for you, that's on your side, they're not going to rob you, they're not going to steal from you. They're not going to minimize you. They're not going to attempt to discredit what you're doing in order to enhance what they're doing. And that's what I have learned through my experience. So whenever I come encounter with an energy that is doing something of that sort, I know for a fact that that's something that's against me. But no enemy can exist outside that's not already within. So I look within myself to see,
Mm.
why would it be like this? And then I mean, and I get my answers. I learn why certain people feel as though it's easy for them to walk all over, and that's just because of their lack of belief in like higher existence or righteousness. They feel like they are the higher existence. I don't know if you ever heard of like Nuevo Tech. They kind of teach like I'm the highest existence. I'm the all.
Yeah.
I'm the end all be all type thing. And so because they feel like that, they feel as though it's okay to get over on people like me who are kind of very laid back with my energy, kind of like, oh no, everything's gonna be okay regardless of anything else. And it's like I get people that want to prove that it's not gonna be okay. You have to do this like this my way, or it's not gonna be okay. And I never feel like people are supposed to be put into a corner. But a lot of people that have put me in the boxes, I have seen live in a box. Even if their box is bigger, it's the difference between living in a one
Mm-hmm.
bedroom house and living in a 13-bedroom house. You're still
Yeah.
living in a house. So your box may be a little bit bigger, but you're still in a box type of thing. So yeah, you're right to the extent that I am very guarded as a result of the past. But again, it's strategic because I don't I'm not going to give me out for free if I'm actually like putting the work in to have a company to do
Yeah,
this.
but
Like that's like they're not giving out, you know what I mean? They're not just gonna give me a Tesla. They're selling Teslas, you know what I mean? I'm
mm,
not just gonna walk outside and they'll be no, I have to buy that. And I mean, someone put their blood, sweat, and tears into that. I can't just. There's a guy I think he was able to steal like 5 Teslas. He's going to jail now. So it's kind of the same with my energy. It's the same healing capabilities, and that's really literally where it comes from. But there are things in my past that I've learned that have affected me to like maybe different defense mechanisms and stuff like that that I have been working on to make sure every experience is new. So what I do is when I notice a pattern, I understand patterns. We all went to school, we learned patterns. So what I like to do is separate, okay, each experience, each individual is an experience. So I give each individual their opportunity to be that experience as well as me have that experience. But if it's the same individual and then there are similar patterns in regards to this individual, there's no way for me to kind of say, you know what, it's not what I'm seeing, because that's when it creates an existence of foolishness to where I'm able to look and I'm saying like, look, I'm stupid to believe that you're genuine because you're doing the same thing before that caused me to disassociate from you because I knew then you were not genuine. I attempt to test it for a little while and I'll test it and I'll push a few buttons over here, button over here. Let me see that if I do this, what happens? When I do this, what happens? When I do that, what happens? And I like to see how people move. And I usually learn what I have to learn from those type of instances. So that helps a lot. In regards to how I deal with people and how I make a choice to say, hey, I mean, like I'm okay on you. I'm good. You're not for me, or this isn't a connection for me, or this is not something I'd like to grow and engage in. But I'm not going to keep you any longer. I have to get started with our homeschool day, and I would like to make sure you have your time. I know you have your baby and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's at school, but I don't want to hold you too long. But I appreciate you so much for sharing your experiences and being willing to open up because this is a very
yeah.
sentimental
Can I just
topic.
say one thing?
Hmm.
You've sort of said that you said that you've opened up fully to people in the past and they've used it against you. That's one thing that you might think I'm very open in myself what I talk about, but like I'm only sharing a certain amount of myself. I don't think anyone should share everything himself. You see a snail, you don't see the snail that's in the shell. You only see the bit that's sticking out, and that's the same with me. You only see, like the big snail anyway. But you know, you might think, oh, he's showing a lot of himself, saying, "Oh, he's healing." So, yeah, maybe I am, but how can I say without sounding again or sounding conceited? I'm only showing a small part of myself, and I really am. There's a lot more I could share, and I don't because, as you say, you go share too much, people use it against you, and yes, that's true, and that's part of the way I do it. You might think I'm sharing a lot more than most people would share. It may be, but it's because for me that's only a small percent to me. It's a small amount. It's not a big deal for
Compared
me.
to the big scale.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
No, it
Um,
makes a lot of sense, and I'm like completely relatable. So for me, everyone gets my whole self, so I'm guilty with that. Like
yeah,
everyone,
you gotta stop
new
that. You gotta stop that. No, don't give me
but
wholesale. You should not.
only new experiences though. People from the past, and this is where you're saying like the past kind of people from the past. No, there's a wall up for
Yeah,
everyone
yeah. Same
that
with
has
me.
wronged me in the past. Like
Yeah,
if you cross me, it's like it's never the same again. And I mean, I'll put the guard down a little bit to an extent, but it's still I know what you're capable of. And
yeah.
once you show, like, I'm not gonna let the same snake bite me 100 times.
No,
Like
no,
eventually
no. You shouldn't.
it,
No.
yeah, you learn like you know where you you get pain where you never had pain, smells where there's never been smells. Like I channel this energy just so I can know who's responsible. Because if I don't welcome it, then there's no way for me to stop it. Because if it's happening to me, I know for a fact it's happening to weaker individuals who are less self-aware. So I
Yeah.
use myself as a channel in order for me to learn exactly what's out there and what's attempting to hinder people like me, people that I care about. Because I actually care about people. I care about humanity. I care about our existences. I care about our growth. I'm
Mm.
not on a level of feeling like I'm better than anyone. But money does not matter to me. Yes, I like to spend it. I can have lots of fun spending
Yeah.
lots of money. But what matters to me is how we make each other feel, what we do for each other, the type of lessons we're teaching our kids. I never want my kid to like pick his girlfriend because she has the biggest boobs and the biggest butt. Like, I want them to actually engage with
Yeah.
real, genuine connections and grow something of longevity. So yeah, I actively live like that. I love it because it'll be days that I'm at my lowest and I feel like, oh, I don't like the way this looks on me. I don't like the way it looks like blah 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 blah. And my babies will just come out of the clear blue. I'm like, oh my God, you're so cute. Oh, you're just so cute. And give me a kiss. And they're 7 and 8, and I'm just like, thank you. Like, where did you come from? But they're healers as well. And I don't like to just say healers, but they have powers because
Yeah.
it's not just
And my son
healing.
is 8 as well.
Yeah, so I want to like. I feel like we should create an environment to where they're safe to be themselves. People like us, we never really had that environment to where
No.
that was welcomed, and they used to burn witches type thing. So I never would like them to feel intimidated for them being blessed and them being gifted. Like I've been ridiculed and intimidated for my capabilities. But again, like I said, I appreciate you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to share to end this? Like anything
Well,
words
one
to exit?
thing, uh, I'm glad it's not with everything, but it is with a lot of things. Never said this on camera before. Sometimes I can see the beginning and the end of situations when they happen. I can see, I can see you can see before they start, and I can see how they're going to end as well. It's something you might call that sometimes a sort of a curse. Nothing like major, like a relationship, anything like that. Nothing like, like, oh, I'm going to see like I'm going to die next year or anything silly like that. Nothing like that. I don't mean like that, but just like situations I can see beginnings and ends of them. And
I remember you were saying you knew that you were going to date someone, date a nurse or something, and then
yeah,
eventually.
that's right, yeah.
That's cool to me. I wish I could see who my future husband is going to be because I'm standoffish to all guys
Yeah.
now. It's kind of like, no, I want you to wear a sign like, hey, me right here. I'm the future husband. Talk to me because I kind of blow everyone off. And so, like, that would be a cool aspect. I'm not there with that. I guess I use my channeling for stuff different. And
Yeah.
we'll.
Well, it wasn't like I was just in the kitchen when I used to live, and it just popped in my head, and I wasn't like I hadn't dated anyone for a couple of years because I come out of a divorce. I wasn't like in a rush to sort of um I wasn't trying, to take date anyone or anything, and it just came into my head. I thought, oh, okay, and a month later it actually happened. It was like,
That
whoa, you know what I mean?
But that's like that manifestation you were talking about. You want to
Yeah,
talk about a little bit about where you're going in the
yeah.
future?
So I said to you,
Dad?
did I create this situation, or was it already in place, or did I? You know what I mean? I said to you about manifestation because
Was
it's
it deja
fascinating.
vu or was it manifestation
Yeah,
type? Like, yeah, like, are you living something that was already predestined
yeah.
or create the destined? Absolutely.
Uh,
Well,
I'll have to shoot. I gotta. The roadworks by my son's school, so I'm gonna have to shoot. Otherwise, I'm gonna be late.
oh, well, you have a
Yeah,
wonderful day and thank you so
yeah.
much.
I enjoyed
I
it. I think
appreciate
I've said
time.
a lot of stuff today, maybe too much, but there we are. It's been good.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down with me and taking the time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. You be safe and keep up the great work.
Yeah, and you. Thank you very much. I'll
Thank you
speak
so
soon.
much. All
Bye now.
right. Have a